Hello and welcome to today's bone, shell and crystal reading. I thought I was prepared, but I didn't have all the bones, so just get a few more here whilst I wait for you guys to come in. Kieran, hello. Kieran, hello, welcome. So we're all trying to focus a little bit on some people who have not had any readings yet. So Kieran, you are very lucky that you already had one. You had one, I think you were on the first stream. So Jasmine, Miss Venus, Kieran, Dupree, Marianne, and Cherry, Eslila, and Samaya. You guys have had one very recently. So we are going to try to do a few for people who have not had any yet. So just for now, you're very welcome to have another one at some point. Just trying to make some space for, be a bit fair, give everybody a chance. So we'll see how, if the stream is very, very quiet, of course, if you've had one before, you're very welcome to have one, but we're going to try to prioritize some people who have not had one. So Sid and Rising Phoenix, it's great to see you guys here. Healing Tarot as well, hello and welcome. So yeah, I will begin a list. Really nice to see you guys. I hope you are all well. So I will do who was first here. So we will do Sid and Rising Phoenix. You guys are all on the priority list anyway. So we'll begin with Sid and Rising Phoenix. But Healing Tarot, if you would like one, please do let me know. But please, guys, let me know if you want a bone reading, because I know a lot of people jump in thinking it's like crystal ball or pendulum. So I get it. If you don't want a reading, it's fine. Don't worry. But we will have Sid and Rising Phoenix first. But Healing Tarot, if you would like to be third on the list, just comment and let me know that. Just have to make sure you're not accidentally, coming in thinking you want a crystal ball, basically. So that's all. But I just want to talk about a few things that I have that have kind of arrived since I've been away. So let's look first. We have these love cards. So actually the messages are pretty similar to the love cards we already have. There are a few differences and variations, so it is always nice to have something new and different. I was very, very attracted to the Cupid on the front. Beautiful packaging, I think. So these will be our new love cards from now on for a while. So they will be probably in tomorrow's stream. There's a crystal ball tomorrow. Might be quite early morning GMT. So it might be good for you IST and Australian guys. Not 100% certain on the time of the crystal ball tomorrow yet, but I'm probably looking like around 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. So we have some beautiful new love cards for that. So I just wanted to share those. But also, this beautiful piece of fabric has arrived. Let me show you. The fabric is going to be the casting mat, or the reading mat. I should probably call them reading mats, not casting mats. It's going to be the casting mat or reading mat for our flower readings. So next month, flower readings are coming back. So if you didn't have one, you might be excited for that. But I just thought that was a beautiful piece of fabric as a casting mat for our flower readings. So if you're looking forward to them, if you've wanted one of those, flower readings coming soon again, and the love cards, like I said. So I hope that you are excited for some new energy coming in. Sid says, I'll have a bone reading, crystal and shell reading, please. I think it's nearly ready though, so can I have when I come back? If you need to bump me down just a bit. Yeah, so I'll keep you as priority for when you're back. So Sid, you can be priority. Hopefully you come back in time, that would be great. So we'll have Sid as priority. Suns, hello and welcome. Words of life, hello and welcome. Always lovely to see new people. So guys, it is bone, shell and crystal reading today. If you want one of those, please comment specifically that you would like one. Bone reading, just let me know. So far, we have Sid and Rising Phoenix on the list, but if Healing Tarot, Suns, or Words of Life would like to be added, you are very welcome to be added to this list for bone reading. Just let me know. So whilst I wait for a few people to roll in, I know some of you have seen this, but when I was away at Budapest, we went to a beautiful Tibetan kind of sound healing store with singing bowls and all of that. Some of you have seen the short video that I posted with the huge Tibetan singing bowls. It was very, very beautiful. But I wanted something really tiny. And as you guys know, I'm really getting into my miniature things at the moment, like my miniature crystal ball, so that we can travel with these things and I can do streams as I travel. The smaller, the more able to fit in my like travel bags and suitcases, the better. So this is my miniature tincture bells within a cute little bag. There we are. So they're very, very cute, and they will be for like cleansing and things like that. So, you know, always good to cleanse on the go, always good to have these things handy on the go when we're doing spiritual work. So I just thought they were very beautiful. We'll play those for a moment. Very nice sound, very nice sound. Don't know what you guys think of that, but I really, really love them. I really, really love them. And I'm just so happy with all these miniature things that I'm finding. But we can travel around with these things. Not channeling, sorry. Cleansing, doing readings. I can do channelings as I go. Maybe take a little journal with me. I could always do a channeling. But it comes in the cutest little bag, and I just thought it was so cute. I don't know if you love it as much as I do, but it's just so great to have these things to travel around with. So we have Candy. Let's see, Candy. I think you might have been on the priority list anyway. Yeah, you were on the priority list anyway. So yeah, let's put Candy. So we have Sid, Rising Phoenix, and then Candy. Yeah, that's all is so far. But Rising Phoenix, Suns, and Words of Life, you're very welcome to request a bone reading if you would like one. So just let me know if you do want it to be added here. But I will get into it in a moment. As we have 3 people on the list, which is great. Suns, yes, absolutely, you can be added. So we have Sid, Rising Phoenix, Candy B, and Suns. Sid is priority because Sid is a heart chakra member as well. So Sid is going away for some food right now. So we'll begin with Rising Phoenix, then Candy, then Suns. But if Sid comes back, then they will be bumped up in the queue. But it still will be, you know, if Sid comes back after Rising Phoenix, it will be Sid, then Candy, then Suns. So it's just Sid who will kind of have priority when they come back. The list remains the same beside that. So we have Rising Phoenix first, Candy, then Suns. So yeah, but if anyone else does want one, please let me know. And yeah, so just wanted to share how excited I am for on the go, traveling, cleansing. We'll put this to one side though. And the new mat for flower readings. Flower readings coming back next month. I'm super excited about that as well. And yeah, new love cards. Just a few little updates there. Things to look a little bit forward to. Let's put them in shot. I think that's pretty cute. Okay, so I think that will be good for now. Let me see. I had a weight to weigh down my. Here we are. To weigh down my tripod just in case it falls as I'm moving around. Okay, so guys, remember, we have our crystals here, we have our bones here, and we have our shells here. If there is any particular crystal, bone, or shell that you do or do not want in your reading, please do let me know. So beside that, I will go intuitively with how I feel. But if there's one that you really particularly want or really particularly do not want, you're very welcome to comment that, and I will, of course, do that for you. So, You have our crystals here. You can just say them by colour. I'm not 100% sure of every single name. We have bismuth, smoky quartz, mookaite, let's see, quartz, malachite, sunstone. Oh, I've forgotten. So I've forgotten a few of them. You might know them if you see them up close. So I do apologise for that, but you can say by colour if you want. Here we have chicken foot, antler, sheep tooth, buffalo tooth, and fox tooth. And of course we have our pointing shells. In the reading I call them pointing shells because where they point is what's important to us. We have our oyster shell. We have this shell, which I've forgotten the name of this one. Is it some kind of oh, I can't think of the name. If you think of it, you're very welcome to comment. And we have our Shiva shell here, our Shiva shell, which is very nicely carved into a heart shape. So you're very welcome to choose that as well. Bethany Bonk, hello and welcome back. It's nice to see you again. If you want to be on the list, you're very welcome. We have Rising Phoenix, Candy, and Suns on the list so far, with Sid being kind of like a floating person who will be bumped up in the queue when they are back, just due to being a heart chakra member, being prioritized today. But you're very welcome to be added to the end, Bethany, if you want to. So we are beginning with Rising Phoenix. We still have Rising Phoenix in the chat. Please let me know if you're still here. I do want to make sure you're here when you're having your reading and I'm not reading too thin air. Gossian or Gassian. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but hello and welcome. New subscribers are very welcome. You're very welcome to be added to the list. Anyone I don't make it to today can be on priority for the next one. As always, this is going to be kind of a priority reading. Besides Crystal Ball, this coming month, bone reading and flower reading will be priorities because they're the ones I really want to practice in. So it'll be Crystal Ball, bone reading, and flower reading. That will be priorities over the next month. So let's see. We have Bethany added. Yes, amazing. So we'll add Bethany to the end. Lisa, hello and welcome. Hello and welcome to Lisa. Lisa, you are already on the list. You're very welcome to be added. I know it didn't make it to you last time, so I will add you if you would like. Hopefully we can get a few more. I'm trying to be a little bit quicker with them, so hopefully we can get a few more done today. But let's begin. So without flower reading, yes, I've done it a few times here, but I do need to practice it more. But I wanted a nice casting mat for that. Aries, hello and welcome. Hello and welcome. Lisa, yes, I'll add Lisa. Aries, if you want to be added, you're very welcome. But yeah, so let's begin. So we'll begin with, sorry, do we have Rising Phoenix? I'm asking if you're still in the chat, otherwise we go to Candy. If Candy is here, still here. So we'll just give Rising Phoenix a moment. But if you're still here, we'll begin with you. And Aries, are you wanting to be added as well? Aries says, oh, greetings. Hello and welcome, Aries. It's really nice to catch you on stream. And yes, guys, please do like the video. And please remember, even if you don't get your reading today, if you're someone who comes in late, well, not late, but you know what I mean. If I run out of time being a bit slow with the readings, the more likes I get on the video, the more I do come back with that same type of reading. So the more you're likely to get it sooner, basically. So I really appreciate that. The likes to show me what type of streams you do like. So Aries, yeah, I'll add you then. I'll add Aries. So yeah, so the list is getting a bit, I spelled Aries wrong, but oh well. The list is getting a little bit long now. So we have Rising Phoenix. Please let me know if you're here. I will do roll call before I, like a teacher. I will do roll call before I do the reading because I'm not reading to thin air. If you jump out, you can always come back and you can be, put back on the list. But I want to read to people who are present. So Rising Phoenix, Candy, Suns. Do we have anybody in who's at the beginning of the list? We know Sid is away for a moment just to eat. That's fine. But Rising Phoenix or Candy, if you are here, we can begin with you. So please do let me know. Candy's here, okay. So I'll go ahead and begin with Candy then. If there's anything you particularly want or don't want, let me know, because as we're doing shorter readings for stream, we don't use every single element in the stream. Okay, so we'll do Candy first, then if Rising Phoenix comes back, then she can be second. Okay, so let's begin then, because I've been wasting a bit of time here chatting on, so let's begin. So if you're not too concerned about what is and isn't in the readings, I will go with my intuition, but I hope you guys are all liking my centerpiece. It finally came in the mail, so I hope you do appreciate it. I hope you like it. So Candy, this is for Candy, so we're beginning with Candy. Okay, so I'm going to choose. If you disagree, feel free to let me know. Your intuition is always important as well. So let's see. I'm going to go with chicken foot, antler, and fox tooth for your bones. Remove those. I'm going to go with Shiva shell, oyster, and pumpkin shell for your shells. And I'm going to go with, let's see, go with the bismuth, the sunstone, or love stone, smoky quartz. I've forgotten the name of this one, I do apologise. And let's do the mookaite as well. So there we are. So they're the ones I'm choosing. Of course, if you do disagree, let me know quickly before I begin. Let me know quickly before I begin. But so, how we do a bone reading? If anyone does not know, you're very welcome to just watch along if you're kind of interested to see. You know, maybe you're uncertain if you would like a bone reading yet. Maybe you wanted to see how it goes, see what it's about before you decide that you want to join. And you're very welcome to do that. So, just trying to put these like around, a little bit decorative with some things around there. Okay, so let's begin. So what we do, we take the elements that we have chosen, we hold them in our hands. Of course, I have to focus on Candy. If Candy was here, Candy could hold them, or what I usually do, what I'm planning to do, is hold the person's hand for a moment beforehand, before I do it. So we hold them not too far above the mat. We don't want to break anything as we drop it, but we do hold it a little bit above the mat so it can fall. It can be divinely guided as it falls. So you let it go where it wants to go. If you feel drawn to moving your hands around, you can do that. And if anything falls off the side, if we're just looking, we turn this a little bit, you can see our love stone has fallen from the side. So we would discard that. If anything falls off the mat, we would discard that. So unfortunately our love stone has fallen off. Maybe we're not ready to do a love reading just yet, but we still have the sections. So there's still a love section, love and partnership here. So maybe it does come into play. So Aries says, does anyone know the names of the list? I wanted to know. Yeah, so it goes Candy, Suns, Bethany, Lisa, and then you, Aries. But Sid and Rising Phoenix seem to have, well, we know Sid has jumped out, but Rising Phoenix seems to have jumped out. They may be pushed in the queue if they do come back. Well, Sid definitely will, because Sid is priority today. But Rising Phoenix, maybe we push Rising Phoenix back if we can. But so far, it would be Candy, Suns, Bethany, Lisa, and then you. With hopefully Sid coming back in time to be pushed in the queue. So in this reading, so Candy, let's get back to Candy. So in this reading, we have the centerpiece, which the more close to the center an element is, the more soon it is, you know? So if something falls directly here, it might be like the very present moment. As we head out, down here, this is further along in time usually. So you know what I mean? So the kind of current, near future, distant future, that kind of thing. And they all have different meanings, where they land on the mat, how they land as well. This one's interesting. So we will begin, I think we'll begin with the health and well-being. So you have your oyster and health and well-being, Candy. And, well, actually, let's begin with the foxtooth, because it's quite close to the center. Let's do that. So we have foxtooth here, a home and family. So foxtooth usually represents things that, if you've had some kind of, it can be really intense, like trauma, things like that, being stalked, or whether that's just kind of online or if it is actually really serious, it can really point out to things like that. But it can just be like things that you feel very vulnerable about, things that maybe someone's hurt you when it wasn't your fault. If the fox chief, it's not your fault, so it's not something where someone's hurt you because you've done something wrong. There's a bit of an innocence in the fox chief. It's the fox. We think of the fox, like the totem animal of the fox. The fox is hunted by people. It doesn't do anything wrong to those people, but it gets hunted. So it's that kind of energy. It's you haven't done anything wrong, but teeth. So whenever teeth land in a reading, whenever you have teeth in your bone collection, it is about communication and self-expression. The teeth in the mouth, throat chakra, communication and self-expression. So it might be something that you need to discuss about someone who has hurt you or put blame on you, or like I said, if it's more serious, someone who may have caused you trauma or even stalked you. But it can just be someone putting blame on you or something like that. But it needs to be spoken about. It needs to be discussed. It can't be kind of brushed under the rug. So it's in the section of home and family. So I know, like I said earlier, I need a better fabric pen to write on what the sections are. I know you can't read the words very clearly, but this is the home and family section. So it could be something to do with the family, like someone in a family is putting blame on you for something you haven't done. The home sometimes can link to the actual physical home as well. So it can be someone in the home, like if you don't live with your blood family, it can be people you live with as well. But there's someone putting blame on you for something, or they will, because it can be classed as near future, and it'll need to be discussed openly. You can't brush it under the rug. You will need to have a conversation about that to hopefully clear the air on that. But it's linked to home and family, so just think about that one, just in case it does come up in the near future and it's not there yet. These are all quite close to the centre, so they might be in your vicinity already. We have the foot as well. So chicken foot's also quite close to the center, which is a very positive omen actually. The chicken foot is a positive omen of luck and protection. So there might be negative things coming towards you. It doesn't mean there's nothing negative coming towards you, but you'll have some level of protection against it. The claws of the chicken foot, they represent someone or something, or it could be your spirit guides, it could be a real physical person clawing at that thing that's doing you wrong, stopping it in its tracks, if you will. So good luck. Sometimes the luck does also kind of extend around money. So it can be, not always, it can be luck in other areas, but sometimes it does extend around money. And particularly when it falls into the money section. So we will look at the sections because it begins in home and family. So you might have some luck with the situation as well. It might be pointing to luck with whatever this blame situation is. But then you also have the luck in the health and well-being. So that could be a positive. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't be moving them. That could be a positive change in your health and well-being. So it might just be that you take more time for self-care. So your health's getting better and things like that. But can also be like if you end up finding the right medication or the right therapist or the right holistic, modality, like maybe sound healing, Reiki, whatever it might be, you get good luck in your health and well-being. So it could be finding something that works for you, finding a diet regime that works for you, or a exercise regime that works for you, or like I said, a healing modality that works for you. It's good luck in health. It could even just be natural positive changes with your health. If you've had something really an issue like an injury or something, you're healing. There's a healing energy with good luck in the health and well-being section, and that's quite near future, so that's nice. But it's also, the chicken foot is pointing to our finance and wealth section as well, and this is very positive omen. We do kind of want the chicken foot to land in our finance and wealth a lot of the time, because a lot of us want luck with our money and finances, so that's nice. And it seems to be with the claws. The claws are the part of the chicken foot that landed in the finance and wealth section. So that could be someone, like I said, a protection against something bad happening financially. Something bad could kind of be on the way, and then something kind of saves the day, if that makes sense. So that's nice. We also have this stone, and this stone links to things you really need to pay attention to, things you need to keep your mind and set on. If tunnel vision focus, manifestation focus, maybe taking action on certain things you really need to focus on is your finance and wealth area of your life. And sometimes this stone, it's focus and study. So sometimes it's saying that you need to do like a course, or you need to go to some, it might be training within your job you're already in, it might be doing a new course to learn a new skill, it might be fine-tuning a skill you already have, but there might be some level of learning, leveling up a little bit your knowledge to help with your finance and wealth, and you are being guided to that, something to focus on, something to manifest. But we do also have the oyster in our health and well-being. Now the oyster, it represents what you deserve. So it's about what you deserve. So it's saying how much you deserve your positive health and well-being within your life. So when the oyster lands in health and well-being, it could be guidance to do more self-care. You might not be taking enough care of yourself. One thing I always say with that is, you are just as important as other people. So if you're an empath, if you're someone that's always looking out for other people, remember that you deserve to be looked out for that much as well. Don't put your own health and well-being on the back burner. You're deserving of positive, good health. So that's nice. Then let's move to the career and business, since we spoke a little bit about finance already. And it's interesting because you're getting the focus on the manifestation stone, and then you're getting it's kind of like moving up the ladder kind of stone, If sometimes if we get this in our home section, it can be moving up that, the ladder of like homes, like buying a new home, things like that. But it's not in your home section. That's just an example. It's landed in your career and business section. So that could be getting a better job. It could be leveling up to like a promotion, or it could be, maybe you have a job and a side hustle, and your side hustle is going to level up and overtake the job. But the positive thing about this one, first of all, it's not too distant future, and that's career and business. But secondly, it's the way it lands. So this bismuth can land like that, can land like that, but your one's landing upright with the point at the top, which is a very positive omen for leveling up in whichever section it lands in, which is career and business for you. So that's very, very nice. Just a really positive omen there. You have a few positive money omens in your reading. Then we move on to the Shiva shell. So your Shiva shell it's upside down in a sense. Like ideally we want the twirl to be at the top, but that's okay. It might just mean that, so you're getting positive, it's always positive. There's nothing negative about the Shiva shell necessarily, but if it lands upside down for you, it might be, usually it's saying that the messages that you're receiving from your guides, you might be not it's not that you're ignoring them, but you might not be getting them very clearly. You might not be getting your messages from your guides as clearly as you would like to, or as clearly as you should. So maybe a bit of focus on your third eye and crown chakra, paying close attention. If you're seeing angel numbers, if you're getting any messages and visions, meditate on them, pay close attention. If you're getting angel numbers, when are you getting them? What are you thinking when they come through? What are you currently doing? Where are you? Take all of those things into account when you're seeing angel numbers, because there's a deeper message to the messages you're getting from guides and things at the moment. You're not getting your messages that clearly, but the messages might be coming through friends. Sometimes this is the social and friends section. So sometimes divine words are spoken through other people. So other people might give you ideas, or they might say like quotes or things, or they might have a song in their head that they might sing, and it's divinely guided. It's a divinely guided message to you. They purposefully said it at that time for you to receive that message. Subconsciously, they didn't realize they were doing it divinely, but they were. So you might be receiving very positive messages, advice, guidance, things like that. That's in line with your guides and angels from your friends, your social circle. So it's a positive omen for friends and social circle. Could even be that you meet more spiritual friends and things like that, because our spiritual stone has landed in social and friends. So that's really nice. Positive message for spiritual communities, spiritual friends, and things like that. And maybe meeting soul family members who will guide you more on your path. So that's very nice. But you do have so this is more, we have the health stone, which we didn't use, it's here. But this is more a mental health kind of self-confidence, self-esteem, anxieties, mental health kind of stone. It resonates with those kind of energies that we feel. And it's in social and friends. So you might be, maybe there's some introverted energy or shy energy, or just not fully putting yourself out there with friends. So have confidence, improve your self-care and self-esteem and things like that, like the oyster is also telling you. because you, again, it's like you're deserving. It's like saying the social and friends are really important to you. Don't forget to have self-confidence, work on your self-growth, and stay connected with these spiritual friends as well. It's important to see which combinations of stones land together, and it seems like you should have, maybe believe a little bit more that you deserve to connect with your soul family members, and you deserve, spiritual abundance as well as, material abundance, as we see here. So social and friends, you are getting some good energies come through there. But yeah, if you have any anxieties around social situations, putting yourself out there socially, it might be something to work on. You might be being told to work on that. So the love and partnership. So we move from social and friends to love and partnership. First of all, this is where our antler lands, and it's really pointing to, like, it's the, it's not like this or like this. It's basically taking up the whole section, the whole timeline of the love and partnership section. So it's a positive omen for love and partnership. It does tell you that you need to focus on it a little bit, but the antler is about gentle, calm conversations, not arguments, not, whatever else it might be, conflicts, misunderstandings. Very gentle conversations, truly and honestly discussing feelings, being open maybe to people you trust about feelings in the love and partnership realm. You might this might be with the person you're getting with or you're with, or it might be with friends who are giving you advice and things like that. Could be telling you to slow down and listen a little bit. Let that friend set you up with that person, or let that friend give you advice. It's gentle, calm, caring conversations regarding love and partnership. But you're also getting, so your smoky quartz unfortunately has landed in your love and partnership section, which does show in the more distant future, as we can see the timeline here, that there's something hidden. It could be a secret that someone's keeping. It could be, lies, deceit, and things like that. It can have a very negative omen, but it can also just be misunderstandings. It can be misunderstandings, it can be confusion, it can be, a little bit of incompatibility that just needs working on. Incompatibility doesn't always mean the end of a relationship. It just means something to focus more on and work on. You need some clarity here. But we always have to look at the combinations. So having the antler and the smoky quartz together, it's a positive sign, really, because it shows that as long as you're having these nice gentle conversations, you will come to this clarity. So I wouldn't worry too much, but I would just try to keep in mind that there might be something hidden. There might be something to, don't avoid those, more deeper conversations, maybe more emotional conversations. Don't avoid them, because something might need to become clear. You might need a veil to be lifted somewhere there. But then we have the pointing stone, the pointing shell. It's in between our advice and guidance and our spirit and self, but it's pointing to our spirit and self. That's where it's pointing. So to me, this really resonates with the Shiva. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't be moving them. To me, this really resonates with the Shiva shell, because the Shiva shell is upside down. Which is kind of the way we don't really want it, and we're being pointed to spirit and self. And one thing I didn't mention about the Shiva shell, actually, we look at points on shells, but with the Shiva shell, it's where the crevice is pointing, the crevice there, not the point. And that is actually pointing to the pointing shell. So we're all being guided spiritually to the spirit and self. There is some more work needed there. There is something, like you're missing something that the guides are saying, you're not connecting with them fully or closely enough. They're trying to tell you something that you're not quite getting. So whether you want to do more meditation, or get some channelings done, or just work on your third eye and crown chakra, meditate a little bit more, write your dreams in a journal a little bit more, something like that is going on your spiritual journey. But it's still positive, you have potential to turn this around and come to that understanding, I totally believe. But the last stone is the sunstone, which is abundant energy in your advice and guidance. So to me, this resonates with the message of meeting or connecting closer with, if you already met them, your soul family or soul family members in some way, because you're getting really positive, abundant, golden advice. So there is someone on your life path who's very positive. It could be this person that you have this these gentle conversations with, you're getting some very, very good advice. So do take it. Don't feel like you have to make all of your decisions yourself. Air out your worries about maybe love and partnership, maybe, or anything else. Air out your worries and your concerns with those close people that you trust, because you're going to get some very positive advice. So yeah, listening to advice is very important as well. So yeah, that was for Candy. So let me see. Let me just see some replies here. On point thus far, makes sense. Definitely looking into doing a course, good. Really not feeling myself these days. So yeah, a bit of self-work, understanding that you deserve it as well. Would like to start back working out, yes. Will definitely work on my third eye and crown chakras. Amazing, yes. But you do have a lot of positive things come through. I think it's just about taking advice from others, knowing that there are people on your life path you can trust and talk to, connect with your spiritual communities, do that bit of self-work, do that bit of, whether it's exercise or eating a bit better or whatever that healing modality is, just doing that, taking that on board. So yes, so that was Candy for our first one. So we'll see who's in now. So we have our Bones here. Bones. Oh no, sorry, that's a shell. I'm putting that on Bones. Bones, crystals, and shells. So again, like I said, if you do feel like there's a particular one you definitely want or definitely don't want on your reading, please comment it. I'm going to go with guidance mostly, but if there's something you definitely don't want or definitely do want, please do feel free to tell me that. Okay, so you're very welcome, of course. And we move on now. Do we have Suns in? Do we have Suns in the chat? Or maybe Bethany, we'll see who is present. So, or Sid, if Sid is back. So we have Sid, Rising Phoenix, Suns, Bethany, Lisa, and Aries. So let's just see. So great that we have Suns. Let's just see if we have Sid or Rising Phoenix first. And if not, we will go to Suns. So let's see. I'll just give a little moment. But don't forget, if there's a crystal, shell, or bone you definitely want or definitely don't want, please comment that in the chat. And as I just wait for a moment, see if we have Rising Phoenix or Sid in. And Bethany is here. Great, great, great. I'll just do a little cleanse. I don't have to cleanse between every reading, but I'm just obsessed with my new tinctures, so I'll do that. Come on to it. And if you are new in, please do let me know if you would like a reading. Everybody is welcome. It's just if I didn't get to you on time today, I will put you on the list and prioritize you for next time. So everyone will get a reading. We'll be doing many, many of these throughout October. But yes, do let me know if you would like one, and we'll add you to the list, basically. And if you haven't liked the video yet, please do like it. I greatly appreciate that. Okay, so we might just have to go on to Sunstand because we can't be hanging around waiting too much. So let's begin with Suns. Sid and Rising Phoenix, you're very welcome. If you jump back in, you're very welcome to your reading. So that's fine. But Sid, Rising Phoenix, Beth. So we do Suns now. Then we have Sid, Rising Phoenix, Bethany B, Lisa, and Aries. If you're not on the list but you would like to be, please let me know. And like I said, if there's any crystal, bone, or shell that you do not or do definitely want, let me know before I do your reading. So Suns, I'll go with guidance on yours then. So still using, I'm really drawn to these three for the reading, so I'm going to keep them. I'm going to do Sheep Tooth instead here. I like to have them in short. They just look nice, don't they? I do want the Love Stone. Let's see, I'll have the Love Stone. Let's have the Grounding Stone. We'll keep the Bismuth. Clear Quartz and the Smoky Quartz, I think. If you disagree with me, you're very welcome to say. Let's do the Abundant one as well. Andrea, hello and welcome. Andrea says, hello, my beautiful spiritual sister and family. Amazing. Sending positive vibes and positive energy for the chat. My beautiful spiritual sister. Love, light, and blessings. It's so lovely to see you with such positive energy. Let me know if you'd like me to add you to the list. You'll probably be on priority for next time if you're added today. Now, because the list is a little bit long, but just let me know and I will begin now. So we're going to do Suns now. I think we will get to Bethany and maybe Lisa. But we'll just have to see if Silver Rising Phoenix comes back as well. But this is for Suns. So you have Suns now. So like I said, we hold all of our elements in our hands, not too far from the mat. We don't want to break them, but we drop them where we feel they should go. Okay. Now, this is interesting. As you can see, if I move this slightly, our love stone, it has slightly fallen off the mat here, but it's not completely off. So I am going to still include it. Just push it a little bit on there. That's okay. So it looks like we have all of them in the reading. So yeah, it's off screen, but we'll still talk about it. Don't worry. Okay. So this is quite interesting. So first of all, for Suns, we have our sheep tooth is in the very center. So don't forget, like I said, the further out from the center we get, it's like the timeline. You know, current, near future, distant future, that kind of energy is what we see. Sorry, you probably can't see me doing that. Near future, current, near future, distant future. Oh my gosh, I'm going crazy. So sheep tooth right in the center. So the sheep tooth, there's a lot of innocence, naivety and things like that come up with the sheep tooth. But it's not to say, like, if I'm drawn to a sheep tooth for your reading, it doesn't mean that you are naive or I think you're naive. But there can be a situation where you might be being a little bit naive, or it could just be your innocence. There's innocence in some way. Like, it could even be as serious as being in a legal battle or being in just some kind of miscommunication, argumentative energy with someone where maybe they are kind of blaming you. Again, there can be blame with the sheep tooth as well, kind of like the fox tooth, but it's more like how can I say? It's more like a conversation. There needs to be a conversation about something where there's some level of like innocence involved in some way. So it can be, like I said, a specific actual court case, but it's about communication and self-expression as well. So there is that very how can I say it? It's almost like your childlike kind of energy. I don't mean childish, I mean childlike in a positive way, like tapping into your inner child, being connected to your inner child and things like that. They're all things that come up with the sheep tooth. So it has a positive side, it has a negative side. There can be the teeth are always about communication and self-expression, but what is the communication about? It can be the negative side, where you're innocent in some way, and that needs to be discussed. You need to be, express yourself about that. Don't ignore it. Make sure everybody kind of knows where you're at, what your emotions and thoughts are. If you are being naive in a situation at the moment, it might come to light. There might be a communication that comes up, a conversation, where you kind of understand. You're like, oh, okay, I got kind of the wool pulled over my eyes in that situation, that kind of thing. You might have the wool pulled over your eyes in a certain situation, and some conversation is going to come up where that veil is going to be lifted. You're going to realize that you have the wool pulled over your eyes in some way. A conversation or communication that happens very soon is going to help you to realize that. There's clarity that comes around that, but there's still like that innocent, tapping into the inner child kind of energy. So it's kind of a message to don't discount that. Just because something might come up where you realize you might have been a bit naive, or someone might have taken you for granted, taking your kindness as weakness and things like that. They're the kind of energies that come up. But if you do realize you've been naive in some way, if some communication comes up where you kind of realize, the veil's lifted, you see where someone's taking you for granted or taking you for a ride, through some communication or conversation that happens, don't disconnect from your inner child. Don't let it harden you or make you, distrusting or anything like that. It's kind of a message of keeping with your innocence, even if someone has taken it for granted. It's still a very positive side of you. They're in the wrong and not you, basically, is what it's saying. So don't step out of that inner child energy too much. It's really positive to tap into your inner child. It's really positive to still have connection to your inner child or to do things that connect you with your inner child. If someone does pull the wool over your eyes and you realize that, don't let it harden you, basically. Cut them off, move away from them, but stay in that nice positive, nice energy that you have. It's a good trait. But yeah, a communication that will happen soon where you will see something like that. So there's something that's going to come to light with that. But yeah, keeping that part of yourself is important. So the chicken foot, so we have our luck and our protection, what we're being protected against here. So good luck in love and partnerships. So and that's quite near future as well. It's not too distant. So having good luck in love and partnerships. If you've had bad luck recently, it can be a turn of events. It can be a turn of karma in the love and partnership section, whether that's with someone you're already involved with or whether that's with a new person, that might be seen, that might be uncovered to you. But good luck, a positive omen in love and partnerships, basically. But the protection side is more this side of the foot with the claws, something that's going to, something bad might still come to you or try to come to you, but it's going to be stopped in its tracks, basically. And that's in social and friendship. So it could be that there's a friend who's very important to protecting you, a friend that maybe they give advice that protects you, maybe they help you out in this situation where someone's not being too great to you. But it does seem like, because it's in the social and friendship section, it seems like there's someone who's very important to protecting you, having your back, if you will, So there is a very positive friend, and that you might even know them already because of how close this is to the center, but they might be someone who's coming up in the near future, who's very protective, very positive energy, someone really positive in your social and friendship section. So try to be intuitive about who that person is, but I do think that they will come to light because it's a situation they're going to protect you from or protect you, surrounding that some situation. So someone who's protective and very positive on your path, basically. So that's just really nice. Chicken foot gives us positive omen in whichever section it lands in. So positive omen in love and partnership, and in social and friendship. So it does seem like your actual connections, your outward connections with people, not like going within. It's very important at the moment, that social energies, throat chakra energies, that kind of thing, with the tooth, and the positive omen in the kind of communication, conversation, connections with people. So that's really nice. But it does seem like there's conversations that need to be had about something. So, maybe that'll come up soon. Maybe you already kind of know what that's about. You'll see. But then we have, in our finance and wealth section, we have our grounding stone. So the grounding stone's a really nice one to have in the finance and wealth, because it can be about so it's very root chakra. It's home, safety and security, money, finances, things like that. And being grounded, feeling grounded and rooted. So for some people, it can be about finding that right home. If you're looking for the certain location of the world you want to live in, you might realize it. You might find that place you want to call home. You might, find where you want your roots to be. If you already know where you want your roots to be, it could be finding the home that's right for you, finding that mortgage, or finding some way of making it work where you want to live. The grounding stone in finance and wealth is really a positive omen, because it does suggest, having the means, like the physical means, like the money to do that. So it's a really positive omen about your living situation, basically. But you do have the bismuth has landed in your finance and wealth as well, and it's on its side. So ideally, for the most positive omen, we want it to be upright, but as it's on its side, there may be something that you need to work on. So even though you're getting a very positive omen here, it's kind of saying, yeah, things are looking up, things are really great, but there's still action, work, motivation, energy, time that you need to put into it. Maybe that's, working harder at your job, or working harder to get a better job, or working harder on your side hustle, or whatever it might be. There's still some work that needs to happen, some energy, motivation, time that you need to put in to things, basically. So yeah, very positive omen, but you might still need to get there with your physical actions and things like that. But there's a lot of opportunity and possibility for you there. So that's nice. But our love stone also, like I said, you can't see it. I'll move it a little bit in, but it was right at the edge. So, let's move it even more in. But it was right at the edge. So do bear in mind, it might be a bit more distant future than it seems when I've moved it here. But it's a love stone, and it's in finance and wealth. So it can suggest a few things. It can be meeting someone who's very, how can I say it? Not necessarily rich, but maybe comfortable, doing well financially, a good job, maybe they've got a home already, maybe it's things like that. But it's a very positive love omen in finance and wealth. So it even means, sometimes it means you meet someone who's doing very well for themselves. Sometimes it means you might meet at work, you might meet at the workplace, but sometimes it can be, if you're already in a relationship and it's just a positive omen that you and your partner, because you're getting positive signs about money here, it could just be a positive omen that the partner exceeds in their job role. Maybe they level up in their job role as well. So sometimes the partner comes in finance and wealth because they're going to get a promotion, or they're going to excel on their side hustle, or whatever it might be. So that's a really nice one as well. So a few possibilities there, and it is more distant future, but a positive omen for love, specifically surrounding some kind of money thing. So that's nice. And then your abundant stone, it actually does land in your health and well-being section, but on the dividing line between finance and well-being. So that's quite nice as well, because it might give a little extra glimpse at some abundant opportunities for you, since it did land kind of on the line. But we are looking more at abundance in health and well-being. So this is, again, it's similar to Candy in a way, where we might be seeing a positive how can I say it, like a positive progression on health and well-being. So whether that is like finding the right healer, or finding the right medication or therapist, or whatever it might be, finding the right foods or diet, exercise, or whatever that might be, again, it's a really positive omen of abundance of health and well-being. So it can be physical health, but it can also link to your well-being, like mental health as well. And because it's the abundant stone, so the stone itself doesn't speak of anything to do with health, it's just abundance. So wherever it lands, it's talking about very positive omens there, a lot of positive energy. It can even be, if you do have any health conditions or ailments or mental health problems, a really positive, like, upward trajectory progression of that, really getting better, So it's just a very positive omen for health and well-being. So that's the health and well-being. So then let's move to, this section is home and family. So we are looking a bit more into the distant future with the home and family, but it's interesting. So the oyster shell, if the oyster shell lands in the home and family, we are seeing it's a bit more about the soul family, not the blood family, because the oyster shell is all about what we deserve, what we're deserving, what we're attracting, what we should be attracting. And it's interesting because it's landed on its side. It's kind of telling us, it's the energy pointing outwards to the future. There's more future energy within this oyster shell. So that can be meeting members of your soul family, meeting people that you really resonate a lot more with, who you might live with maybe, or you might just view them as soul family. You might just get super, super close, have these really positive connections. So it's the soul family coming in the more distant future. And as well, when our oyster is pointing this way, it's giving us this energy of long-term potential. So it's not like meeting someone, you're friends for a bit and then you drift apart. It's those longer lasting soul family friendships that probably will stay forever. So that's it's nice to land that way in that section. So we also have the quartz in the home and family, and that's clarity about a certain situation. Now remember that the home and family section, it can be the blood family, it can be the soul family, but it can also be the actual physical home. So it can be, like we were seeing with the grounding stone, it can be home, safety, security, finding the place you really want to live, finding the place you want to root down in, call your home. So getting clarity about that in the more distant future is nice. Maybe it resonates with this, maybe it's progression from this. Getting a lot more clarity about the home and family. If there have been issues in the actual family, like the blood family, there's been arguments or anything like that, could be getting clarity around them, just very positive omens in the physical home and with the family, and with the oyster shell being there, most likely with soul family as well. So we do have the antler, which is interesting. It's pointing to this section, so I do want to talk about it. But it's beginning in advice and guidance. And it's a lot more closer future and where it starts. Yes, it progresses. Oh, I'm moving it. Yes, it progresses a little bit more into the distant future as we go along, but it begins quite soon. So this is all about those gentle, calm conversations that you will have with people and need to have with people. It's not about arguments or conflicts. It's about really sitting down, hearing each other's sides, and really just gentle words, trying not to get heated, trying to be the mediator, maybe the bigger person. But it's going from our advice and guidance, passing through the spirit and self, and going to the home and family. So again, I feel like a lot of your messages are really pointing to soul family. I really feel like you're going to be meeting soul family. I feel like your social energy is very important right now, because all of the way they've all landed really points to that, because it seems like advice and guidance, getting some kind of positive advice and guidance, but the spirit and self. So this is, like your spirit guide, your higher self, your subconscious self. So it could even be you having inward conversations, inward communication. So it's kind of the opposite to the sheep tooth, which is outward conversation, because it's in the spirit and self with the gentle communications. So maybe you begin to see signs from your guides, your angels. Maybe you go within a little bit, maybe meditate and get some messages come through yourself. This can be talking with yourself as well, like going within and meditating and things like that, and getting advice from spirit guides as well can really come through. So you might be seeing the advice and the guidance from the spirit guides very clearly, and that will help with meeting your soul family and grounding and rooting in that home or that place where you want to spend the rest of your life, maybe. But the two stones we have left, we have the Shiva shell and we have the smoky quartz. So unfortunately, this in advice and guidance, there is unclearness. The smoky quartz is, confusion, misunderstandings. It can even go as far as deception or something being hidden from you. So it's not really great, especially not when in the near future you have very positive communications coming up, maybe clearing the air on something, maybe connecting deeper with your spirit guides. And then in the more distant future, you're beginning to get something not quite clear coming through. Someone might deceive you at this point. Remember, this is distant future though. Someone might deceive you. Someone might be how can I say it? So deceiving you. So it can be deceiving you, but it can be a bit more innocent. It can be miscommunications, misunderstandings. Maybe it's guiding you to really listen to it, because this is the advice and guidance section. So it could be saying, and what it seems like it's saying as well, is remember to keep taking advice and guidance. Remember to listen to what, especially these close people, these soul family people that are coming up, listen to what they're saying, take their advice and guidance. Don't go against it too much, unless you're really intuitively drawn to. Don't go against it too much, because then that might be when the miscommunication, the unclearness comes through. So you really want to nip this in the bud before you get to it, basically, because you don't want, if it's deception, of course, you might not be able to help it, but if it's just miscommunication through not really listening to advice and guidance, you can help that. So just try to listen to advice and guidance, especially from your spirit guides and your soul family. But you have the Shiva shell as well, and the Shiva shell, unfortunately, as well for you, it's landed upside down, so this can be a bit of guidance to keep your third eye and your crown chakra clear, because it seems like they are clear in right now or in the very near future, because you're having this here, which is very positive. But then as you get more distant future, you're getting, you know, a bit of unclearness. It's kind of resonating with the smoky quartz that in the more distant future, you're not taking the guides' messages as clearly, maybe you're not meditating as much and getting your own guidance, maybe you're not discussing and getting advice from people as much in the more distant future. So bear that in mind. You need to keep those things up. You need to keep going within, listening to your own intuition and your guides, and you do need also to listen to what those soul family members' advice they're giving you, because there's unclarity coming up, and it seems like it's in your third eye and crown chakra as well. So in the more distant future, you might need to think, you know, is my intuition dampening? Do I feel like I'm not getting messages as clearly? When that comes, I would suggest cleansing of those areas or meditation on those areas. Seems okay at the moment, but it's in the more distant future. So just think about that. You might feel it because you're having a warning in the reading. You might think, oh, it's been like a few months. I don't feel as connected to my intuition. I feel like my messages from my guides aren't quite as clear. That resonates with the reading. Now I need to work on my third eye and crown chakra. So just think about that when that comes up as well. So that was for Suns. So we have a bone reading for Suns done as well. So that's great. I hope it resonated in some way. I hope you get some positive messages from that. And let's see. So Andrea said yes to being added. Andrea. Okay. We have Andrea. And Sadia says, is it going according to a list? Yes. Let's see. Yeah, so Sadia, you can be added. Just checking. I have to make sure it's people who haven't had one yet. Yes. So Sadia, you can be added to the list. Might not make it to you today. We'll just see, because we have, it depends, because people are jumping in and out today. So we have, do we have Sid, Rising Phoenix, or Bethany B here? They're kind of next on the list. So let's just see if we have any of those here. You're very welcome. You're very welcome as well. Oh, Wolfie. Sorry, I didn't see you there. I'll add Wolfie as well. Sorry about that. Adding Wolfie. So do we have Sid, Rising Phoenix, or Bethany? Let's just see if we have any of those. I will put these here. Remember, guys, if there's a particular shell, stone, or bone that you do or do not want in your reading, please do let me know. You're very welcome to let me know that. I'm going to go intuitively mostly, just for quickness. But if there is one you particularly do or don't want, please do let me know. So that's our selection right now. Thank you, Tara. Thank you so much. Yes, I think it's come a long way. I removed all the excess glue when I made kind of a mess on stream, and my centerpiece finally came. So I'm so happy with that. My yin yang sun and moon. So yeah, I think it's come a long way. I think the only thing it really needs now is the writing to be clearer. So I need to get a good fabric pen, and then I think I'm okay with it. I'm quite happy with how it turned out. I just want the fabric pen so you guys can see the sections when I'm talking about them. We have Bethany. That's nice. Okay, so it looks like we don't have Sid or Rising Phoenix still. So we will go ahead with Bethany then. So, because Bethany is next. So let's go ahead with Bethany. So the list now, just so that you know, we are on Bethany right now. We're kind of holding a bit of space for Sid and Rising Phoenix if they come back. But we're on Bethany at the moment. And then apart from Sid and Rising Phoenix, who I don't think are here, Lisa, Aries, Andrea, Sadia, and Wolfie Baby Doll as well. I think that's your name. Is that right? Yes. Tara says, I just built the ultimate B-bar. 100 yellow jackets feasting on sugar cubes. I would love to see. I would absolutely love to see that. I would love to see. If you have a way to show me. I don't know how your email's going at the moment, but if you have a way to show me, I would love to see that. So let's see. Let's see who we can get through here. But but if you want a reading, please do let me know. I can add you to the list. So let's go with Bethany. Okay, so I'm going to take these two out for Bethany. I'm going to do, let's see. I think I will keep those crystals. And you probably already know which shells I'm going to keep because I'm kind of resonating on them for everyone. So it's kind of samey, but that's okay. They have nice fabric pens online. Silk screen paint is good too. Need to paint over some old t-shirts. I don't like the logo. Silk screen paint. Is that in a pen form though? Kind of want it in a pen form so it's a bit easier for me. But yeah, I will definitely look at fabric pens. I probably will check the store tomorrow to see if they have any. If they don't, I will go online. It's probably cheaper online, let's be honest though. But I think it's nice to have it right away. So, okay, so we will begin with Bethany now, and we'll just, play it by ear like we have been, see who else comes in. Okay, so Bethany, for Bethany. Okay, so like I said earlier as well, if they do still, well, I mean they are on the mat. They are on the mat. I will move them on back a little bit, but as long as they don't fall off completely, they will still be included in the reading. So that's nice. So this is for Bethany. Very interesting. We have a lot more energy up here in this section than we do in this section. So let's see. So we'll begin with this section then. So, like I said, the more central something lands, it's usually in the more present. And then as we head out, we're going more distant future here. Well, near future, distant future, you know what I mean? Near future, distant future. Okay, so we're beginning with the oyster shell, and the oyster shell's upside down. So it's kind of interesting. There could be, when it's upside down like this, it's a little bit more. So the oyster shell generally, it's a positive omen, it's a positive shell. It's, it doesn't necessarily give a bad meaning, but when it's the right way, it's all about, it's kind of positive energy. It's like amplifying those things that you deserve, trying to make sure you understand those things that you deserve. But when it's laid this way, it's almost like there might be a block or something stopping you. Like, maybe it is just yourself, your own beliefs. Maybe you don't feel deserving. Maybe you feel a little bit down at the moment. Maybe you feel, sometimes we look at other people and what they're doing or what they're achieving, and we think that we could never do that. We don't deserve that, or we don't have that capability sometimes. It's not always particularly about what we deserve, but it can be about, not thinking we're capable. But you certainly are, but this is kind of like there's a block in some way. It could be someone else putting you down. It could be that, in your childhood or, earlier life or previous years, someone might have been putting you down, belittling you, making you feel not worthy, making you feel undeserving in some way. Now it's very central, so it does kind of touch on a lot of sections. We've got spirit and self, we've got home and family, we've got health and well-being, we've got finance and wealth, and we do even have a little bit in the career and business. So it's kind of touching on a lot of different sections, which that's not really great. It's kind of like there's a block in some way to you really realizing your true potential of what you really deserve. This, it can even represent when the oyster shell lands this way, that you might have like a hidden talent or a hidden skill or something that you're really, really great at, that you don't quite know yet, or you haven't uncovered yet, or something like that. So it shows a lot of potential in many areas because of where it's landed. But it does also show that, you know, if someone has put you down or made you feel not worthy, or just for your own self, you know, sometimes we don't feel worthy because we look at online and we see other people or other things going on and we think, oh gosh, you know, my life's nothing compared to that. It can sometimes be that, but it really is about, you know, you need to uncover what you deserve. You need to uncover those skills and abilities and talents. It's so much potential. It's almost like there's some untapped potential that you definitely certainly have. So you really need to believe in yourself with this one, I would say. We need to turn this oyster shell around completely, you know, and we need to have it the positive way. So yeah, believe in yourself, certainly. But with it landing in so many sections, I wouldn't say there's work to be done, but I would say you might need to focus on removing a block a little bit. It could be a subconscious block or something like that. I just read Tara's message there for a moment. I have been trying to shop in store more frequently. If all local shops go out of business, we'll only have the option to buy from Amazon. I know. It's such a cognitive dissonance because, you know, I cancelled my Amazon Prime because I wasn't ordering enough from it. But it is such a cognitive dissonance. It's like, I do prefer in store, you know, I think everyone over a certain age does, but it is the convenience of getting like whatever you want from anywhere around the world quite quickly definitely is good, you know. I do kind of appreciate that a lot of times, so I can see the kind of that in a conflict a little bit. So Bethany says the shell resonates deeply. Well, I really feel like, well, at least it's telling you, you know, you do have that potential. You really do have it. So it's kind of like, I suppose, trying to stop you from doubting yourself. Sid, I'm back now. I started working out the calories in my food and forgot to come back. It's okay, don't worry. So we're doing Bethany at the moment. We'll go to Sid. We'll go to you after if you're still here. So yeah, so let's move on from the oyster shell. We know that you are deserving. You just need to uncover that a little bit. Maybe remove a bit of an energetic block if it's been there for a while. But let's move into the social friendships section. Our smoky quartz is kind of on the line a little bit, so it could be leaning to love and partnerships in some way, but it is looking more like social and friendships. Something is unclear again. This can be confusion. This can be misunderstanding. Maybe there's a conflict or misunderstanding going on that just needs to be resolved, basically. But again, sometimes there's a darker side to the smoky quartz. It could be someone deceiving you. It could be, you know, something's being hidden from you, a secret, and that does need to be uncovered. You need to come to like the light with that. So I would say maybe being more mindful in your social and friendships, being more mindful with what people are saying, what people are doing. If people are being kind of secretive or dodgy in any way, you know, being mindful of that, because there can be deception or something like that, but it can just be about misunderstandings. If there's misunderstandings going on at the moment, or conflicts, just trying to resolve it, just kind of trying to just keep friendships in mind, because, you know, we all need positive friendships in our life, of course, but it's just a warning. The smoky quartz crystal is really a warning, you know, to be more intuitive, because wherever it lands, we need to be a bit mindful, open our eyes a little bit, just in case there is someone lying to you or trying to deceive you. So in your social and friends, so just be mindful. Career and business. So you have the focus. So this is about focus and study and learning. So you might need to focus a little bit more on your career, business side, whether it's, you know, in a job like your field, or whether it's like your own business. There could be more focus needed there, you know, with this potential and everything like that. Maybe it's like you have potential to grow, but you need to focus, because again, it's about courses. So sometimes it lands in the spiritual section and people want to do a spiritual course, and it's not always for money, but your one's landing in the career and business. So it will be a course or some learning, some studying, some training in relation to career and business, in relation to growing in that realm in some way. So it could be a course to learn something new. It could be a course to sharpen or deepen some skills you already have. It could be training to kind of, for a promotion or something like that. It could be an actual course, like as in like I said, in a job or even in school. But it can be things like self-teaching with books or videos online, and things like that. So it doesn't have to be like you go to like a regimented course. It can be something you do online, even just learning from videos or reading books. So just, it's about study, but study can come in many ways. But it's in whatever way, it's going to help you in career and business. And career and business is something you're being guided to really focus on at the moment, or in this kind of the near future section, isn't it? So focusing on your career and business in the near future, even the current future if you want to. Maybe when you tap into this unrealized potential that you have, you'll get there, you'll focus on that a bit more. So then we have, let's look at the antler, because the antler starts at health and well-being, and the antler is about those gentle conversations, being the mediator, or being calm and collected, not getting angry, not conflicts, not arguments. It's about those very gentle conversations, and that's going more from health and well-being, passing through our finance and wealth section, and pointing to this stone in our career and business. So there might be some conversations that need to be had, whether that's just, sometimes it can be something like maybe you do work for a company, and the conversation is, just pointing out to your manager, your management, that, I've got these skills, I'm doing really well. It might be time to start talking about promotion or pay rise. It can be something as simple as that. But it could even be, with the health and well-being one, pointing to wealth, finance, career, business. It could even be that your job role is in health and well-being in some way, whether that's in physical health, like personal trainer, nurse, social worker, health and well-being. It could be therapist, could even be in the spiritual realm, like, any kind of health and well-being element of the spiritual realm, like Reiki or anything like that. Health and well-being might be important in some way to your finance and career and business. Even if it's not that your job is in that, it might be important to balance your health and well-being with the job, because you're being told to focus on it, you're being told to have these conversations that lead you to a higher potential in finance and wealth. So you can't forget about your health and well-being as well. When you're being guided to really focus, really put your energy into something, we still have to have that balance, taking care of yourself. Do never discount the taking care of yourself part. That might be why the antler's beginning in that section. But our pointing shell is pointing up to finance and wealth. So it's a positive omen because it's pointing up. It's like, it's like pointing into the future. It's like seeing this positive path, this timeline manifesting, unfolding. So it's quite a positive thing. But again, it's showing us what to kind of focus on. So you're getting two things telling you to focus on: finance and wealth, career and business. So yeah, that's quite nice. But there might be a little bit of hard work. So don't forget to be kind to yourself. Maybe the gentle conversations from the antler, being gentle to yourself, speaking nicely and calmly to yourself, not putting yourself down, not, feeling worthless or anything, or feeling, stressed, being calm. But then we have, so in our health and well-being, we also have the abundance stone. So it's positive. It can be an abundance of health and wellness. It can be a positive progression on any physical health journey, healing, finding the right medicine, therapist, healing modality, sound healing, Reiki, whatever it is. Can be about positive progressions and improvements in your mental health in general as well, so abundance there. But with the abundance stone being in health and well-being, it can also be, again, like if the job is in health and well-being, if it's nursing, social care, all the things we said before, maybe it points to that as well. But then we have the buffalo tooth as well, still in the health and well-being section. So this is more about things that where the antler is kind of like those gentle conversations, being calm. The buffalo tooth is really standing up for yourself, really strong energy, really, it's not anger, it's not aggression, but it's firm strength, standing up for yourself, standing up for what you believe in, standing up for, like yourself, what you believe in, where you want to be, being very clear, very, very decisive, very, very affirmative. And it's pointing upwards to the health and well-being, again, like the shell, showing the potential for the future timeline, energy heading out to the future, very nice. But yeah, you really need to stand clear and firm in what you believe in. But in your health and well-being section, so it could be, again, if we are leaning more to these healing modalities, Reiki, sound healing, things like that. Sometimes we have how can you say, resistance from people, who aren't very spiritual or aren't into those things. And instead of being kind of passive and kind of letting them maybe put you down or whatever it might be, standing firm for what you believe in. But it's particularly about it, so it doesn't always link, like, you have to stand firmly for what you believe in health and well-being. Sometimes it can be that it's more healthy for you in this more near future section to stand for what you believe in. Sometimes, if we don't stand for what we believe in over and over and over, we can begin to create blocks. Like this is literally like the oysters thing about not feeling good enough, maybe even having a block in the solar plexus, lack of self-worth, lack of self-esteem. If you don't stand for what you believe in, it could be bad for your health and well-being. You could come back to this. You could come back to not feeling worthy if you don't stand up for what you believe in. It's not about always shouting from the rooftops or making loads of social media posts about things, but it's just about not not being passive, not being kind of too agreeable, making sure you're clear if you disagree with something, especially if you're right. you know so yes, expressing yourself. Sometimes self-expression is good, and releasing that energy is good for our health and well-being. So Shiva Shell, so you're the first person today to have it upright, which is very nice. So having it upright is a really, really positive omen about third eye and throat, sorry, not throat, third eye and crown chakra. So it is looking more like near to distant future where it lands on the mat, but it's really nice because it's showing positive progression in your third eye and crown chakra, maybe awakenings, maybe messages from the guides and angels, maybe even messages from your higher self, inner self, really connecting with your authentic self, things like that. So that's just a really nice positive omen for you to receive positive messages from your guides and angels, and to take them on board very positively. But it's pointing upwards, almost pointing a little bit to these two stones. When we look at the point of the Shiva shell, it's not this end, it's where the crevice points. So it's pointing upwards to your home and family. So that's really nice. So with the Shiva shell being upright in home and family, I would link it more to soul family. Again, you might be someone who, in this more near to distant future, you're meeting members of your soul family. Meeting members of your soul family, and even sometimes we realize that maybe someone in our actual family is a member of our soul family. It's quite uncommon, but could happen. And the home, so pointing to the home as well. So that can be as well finding that place that you want to spend your life. Finding that nice positive location. Where do I want to live? Whether it's the part of the earth you want to live in, or whether it's the actual house you want, dream house maybe. It might really resonate with your spiritual mission as well. So finding that, if you're really drawn to a certain country, there might be a reason for that more spiritually, more deeply. But you do have these two stones that almost fell off the mat, so they're very distant future in home and family. So your love stone, like romance love, and your grounding stone. So that's really positive. It shows how the crevice is pointing upwards, so like there's progression with it. I think that really resonates in this one because it's a very similar message, although less spiritual. It's a very similar message, finding that place where you want to spend the rest of your life, grounding, safety, security, positive home, um, um, uh, rooting yourself down and where you want to be in the home. But it can be a positive message for family as well. Maybe building a family of your own with children, or maybe just being really in tune with your family, actual family. Positive omen for grounding and rooting with the family. So maybe it's the family members that you want to actually live with or live close to, keep close to you. But the love as well is there. So romantic love in the more distant future doesn't mean that you don't know this person yet, or you're not going to meet them sooner. It just means in home and family that might be the distant future. Might be when you move in with them, might be when you introduce them to family, might be when you get married or have get a child or something, because it's more distant future and home and family. It's a very positive omen for romance in the more distant future. So that's nice. So you have the bismuth stone it's a little bit more nearer than this energy. It's in spirit and self. So it's interesting because it's it doesn't really matter where the bismuth points. It's more about how it lands. So we want it to land upright. That would be the best way. But you're having it land on its side, so it is showing that you might need to do a bit of work to really ascend, basically. So in spirit and self, it's about our spiritual progression, climbing that ladder spiritually, awakenings, things like that. Things that this shell is saying. So it might be suggesting that you have a little bit of spiritual work to do before you get there, and that makes sense because it comes more near future than that. So maybe you do this work, you do this, you work on yourself a little bit, work on your spirit and self, inner self, and connection with spirit guides and spiritual energy, God maybe, and then you progress positively. So there's a positive omen when you link them together, but it does show a little bit of spiritual work needed, basically, which don't we all, so that's okay. So the last but not least, we have the chicken foot, and this is beginning in your advice and career, but moving into spirit and self. So that's really nice because it's nice because it's a positive omen of having good advice for your spiritual life path. So any spiritual communities you're in, whether it's here, secret frequencies, places in person, spiritual people you meet in person, people who resonate with your spiritual life path, whether that's in like a church or a spiritual community like this, that's a bit looser than a strict religion. It can be any, it can be both, it can be anything. But it's getting really positive advice and guidance from a spiritual community or spiritual, getting really positive advice and guidance that's brings about luck. So someone might give you positive advice that brings you luck in general. So don't forget, the chicken foot is luck in general, but it's luck about where it lands, and it lands in advice and guidance. So it's good luck on advice and guidance, which means you're getting the right advice and guidance. You're seeking the right path. You're seeking guidance and advice from the right people, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Sorry. I did mix that up a little bit, but you're seeking the right advice from the right people. So that's a really positive omen on that. Good luck with advice. But then the protection side of the chicken foot is in your spirit and self. So it's showing that a spiritual protection. It's showing that even if something comes for you to bring you down spiritually, like you probably have had here, you're going to be protected from that. So that's also resonates with the progression from this to this. It's like and working on yourself, connecting with your guides, that they bring you protection, and then you advance spiritually with this positive omen here. But yeah, spiritual safety net. So that's really, really positive. So that is for Bethany. So let me read if you have comments on this. Bethany says, oh, sorry, I can't find it. Yeah, so the shell resonates. I think that was the oyster. Currently being mindful of my words, it's been difficult. Yeah, we do have to be mindful sometimes. Wonderful rooting with family, love this. Yeah, I think that it's really nice. It's positive. I think the only things is like understanding what you deserve and maybe working a bit on yourself. Maybe you do need to work a little bit more spiritually, but it seems like you're getting the right advice. So you must be with the right people because you're getting the love coming in, and you're getting the one thing I would say is the understanding what you deserve and working on yourself, and whatever this thing might be. So just having intuition about your social groups and friendships, just in case there might be someone that's a little bit being deceptive, or it could just be miscommunication. Everything else with advice and guidance and people seems positive. So maybe it's just miscommunication that needs working through. It's not always super deep, like really negative deception, but it can be. So it's just to be mindful of that. And you're very welcome, of course. You're so welcome. It's lovely to do this. This is probably my favorite type of reading recently. I do go through phases, and I feel like right now this is my favorite type of reading. So I'm really happy that you guys are here, that you want this reading, and that we're connecting, and I'm just loving it. I'm having a really great time with this reading. I know they're slow, so the one thing I would say is the time it takes. I know for people who are waiting, it can be a bit annoying, so I do apologise for that. But let me just catch up with the chat before we move on to Sid, I think. So let's just see. Let's see. So we have Did I add you, Sadia? Yeah, I did. Oh. Tara says, I have uploaded a bunch of videos, all starting with yellow jackets. They even have a canopy to shelter from the rain now. Oh, I'll have to check that out. I will check that out as soon as I'm done here, actually. I've been trying to shop in store. Oh yeah, I saw that. So yeah, I would check. I would check your videos though. I'd love to do that. And Sid just saying you're back. I did see that. Tara says I would be happy to get a reading today. I got my Bluetooth headphones in. I'll add you as well. So I would love to make it for everybody, but I don't think that we will. So what I'm going to do, we'll do Sid now, and then we'll see if we have time for anybody else. But what I'm going to do, I did put a post about this. I'm going to do heart chakras, a heart chakra one for any heart chakra who doesn't have one yet, because I believe we're going to do Sid, so that'll be Sid ticked off. But we have Jamini, Jan, Sunlight, Rain, Rising Phoenix, Kevin, Watch Geeks who don't have one, and Tara, you have two. You're actually subscribed to me with 2 different accounts, so we'll add you as well to the heart one, just as like a thank you and appreciation for that. So anyone from here who doesn't have one, Damini, Jan, Sunlight, Rain, Rising Phoenix, Kevin, Watch Geeks, and Terra will all get one soon. So let's see. If you didn't get one today, which it's looking like maybe not, because the list is quite long. Kieran, you're not on the list because you've already had one. I'm getting through everyone who has not had one yet first. It would be nice to get to do second ones for people, you know. But I feel like as well, I don't like doing 2 readings for people too close together, because things have to change first, you know. Energies have to change, the path has to kind of progress a little bit. There's no point in getting 2 readings too close together, because they'll be too samey. They'll say the same things too much. We want to space them out to get more insight into how things have changed, you know. So yeah, Kieran, you probably be like November-ish time when we'll do like second ones for people. Bethany, wonderful rooting with family, love this. Yes, and you're welcome. I love my spiritual community. You all are wonderful. Yeah, and connecting with spiritual communities is so important, in person and online. Appreciate the love and care you put into the readings. Oh, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate that. I really do love the feedback. You know, as you know, I'm feeling super into it, but as you know, it is new, and I'm going all with guidance on how I'm kind of intuitively what I'm being guided to give each element in its like meanings. It's all like my own guidance, so I really greatly appreciate the feedback. Nessie, hello, welcome. May I be added to the list? My past is reaching out to me telepathically, and I want to know about it. Nessie, absolutely, I will add you, but I'm just saying, like, it's very unlikely that we get through everybody today, as we've already been on for an hour and a half now, so I don't know if we'll get to everyone, but we will try our best. Aries says you can just save me for next time. Okay, that's wonderful. It won't be too far away. I have my birthday tomorrow, and then spending some time with family for my birthday on the Saturday, but I will be back as soon as I can. But there probably will be a short crystal ball tomorrow morning, just so you guys know. So let's see. Aries says I'd love a reading, but the list is long. You can save me for next time. She says it's okay, you can save me also for next time. And happy birthday. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, so what we'll do, we'll get through Sid, and then we'll just see. I might have to end at Sid, but we'll just see about that. The rest of the list is Lisa, Aries, Andrea, Sadia, Wolfie, Tara, and Nessie. But I think the next one I'll prioritize the heart chakras and Tara. But after that, we'll go back to it being for everyone. It's just to be a bit fair on, you know, people who support the channel and who are kind of paying, you know, it's just fair. So we'll do Sid now, and then, yeah, we'll see where we're at with that. And thank you. I really appreciate I appreciate all of the birthday wishes I've already, oh my gosh, I can't speak. Birthday wishes I've already received. Emails, inboxes, nice little things you guys have sent. I greatly appreciate that. And thank you so much. So yes, let's go with Sid then. But yeah, like I said, my birthday's tomorrow, but I will be on with a crystal ball in the morning. Anyway, nice little birthday stream to connect with you all. And I need to get into the new love cards, so I'm really excited about that as well. Okay, so we'll do little mini tinctures and go and get through Sid's, and then we'll see where we're at. We'll see if we have time for anybody else after Sid. But if we don't, like I said, we'll keep everybody on priority, as always. So bone readings and flower readings will be crystal ball, bone, and flower readings will be the priorities for October. So you should definitely get one, whether it's today or not. You should definitely get one if you stick with me and just check in when I'll always post like an update of when I'm going to come on stream when I can. So okay, so Sid, let's begin with Sid. I'm going to go with. Actually, no. I will use the oyster. I know I'm using it in every reading, but I'm really drawn to it, so I will. So Sid, are you still here? Just let me double check that you are still here whilst we go into your reading. Amazing. Okay, so this is for Sid. Okay. Okay. So this is interesting, actually. We have some in center. So remember, center is kind of current, heading out to near future, distant future, like that as we progress outwards, through, along our lines here. But okay, so we have. Oh, I don't know where to begin with this one. Let's see. So you have, let's begin with the Shiva shell here. So interesting, a lot of people today have had the Shiva shell upside down. So the Shiva shell upside down, of course, the Shiva shell is about spiritual, like, or more spiritual connection, or third eye, or crown chakra, things like that. It's a more spiritual stone, and then we have our more grounding kind of, oh, not that one, our more earthly, physical stones. But this is our higher chakra spiritual stone, and it's upside down. So it is showing a little bit of a disconnect, like maybe you're not getting messages as clearly as you would like, maybe you're not fully connecting with those guides, those spirits, and things like that. You might just be wanting a bit more clarity on that. Keep working on the third eye, keep working on the crown, but it's in the health and well-being section. So there could be some guidance, like they might be trying to guide you to something that's better for your physical health, mental health, that kind of energy. It could even be that there's a spiritual because it's a spiritual but it's in health and well-being, there might be a spiritual modality that you're being guided to a little bit more, like like Reiki, cleansing, sound healing, things like that. You may be being guided a little bit more to healing modalities, spiritual healing modalities, and maybe you're just not fully at your best yet. Maybe the protections need a bit more healing, amplifying. You might just need a little bit more. But the crevice of our Shiva shell, which is here, is pointing to our finance and wealth. So as you heal your health and well-being, as your physical health and mental health improves, you will, it's like a positive omen for getting more onto the financial wealth kind of energies, which it does make sense because don't forget that everything is connected, mind, body, and spirit. And if you need to heal spiritually in some way, or just keep protected, or keep your healing, because sometimes you are on a healing journey, because the spiritual thing, the spiritual shell has landed in health and well-being. So that can be a positive message that you're on a positive healing journey, but you're just not there yet, which is why it's upside down. But I would say positive omen for you being able to get there, because it's in that section and it's in the more near future. So it's a positive omen for being able to get there, but it's almost like saying you're not quite there yet. And we're pointing to finance and wealth. So as you heal and grow and heal on your physical and your spiritual, you will be able to come to a path of more finance and wealth as well. So they do go hand in hand in a sense. The more, and as well, the more we heal our physical and mental selves and spiritual selves, the more energy we can put into other areas of life, like our finances, like our relationships and things like that. So it is showing a positive omen for your Shweta. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate the birthday wishes, guys. Thank you so much. Love, light, and blessings to you. So it does show that you might progress onto a more financial. There's a positive omen for that. You might progress onto a more financial and wealthy path as you heal that physical ailments, mental ailments, and it's not always healing. We can't always fully heal, but being able to manage, treat, and things like that, going on the right path of managing and treatment. So our our antler as well, it's in the current, and it's heading a little bit to near future, but it's very, very current, along with our fox tooth. So very, very central, very, very near. So let's look at that. Actually, let's look first. Let's go around, because we have the most energy here, so we'll do that last. So you have the home and family with the chicken foot and the oyster shell. So you're another one who's having the oyster shell the wrong way, or not the wrong way, but the way it's more of a kind of guidance to, it's about those untapped potential, untapped skills, untapped talents, things that you might have hidden within you that you don't fully know, not fully knowing what you deserve, because the oyster shell is always about what you deserve, but sometimes when it's upright, it's more like those things are enlightened for you, they're awakened for you. It being this way, it's kind of more like, maybe you're not fully seeing what you deserve. It's like it's there, the potential's there, it's always there, but maybe you're not seeing it as clearly and as well as you should be. Billie Jean, hello and welcome. We are doing bone reading. If that's something that you would like, please do like the video if you're interested in psychic readings. And we do many different types, and we have a crystal ball tomorrow morning, so you're very welcome to join us. There probably won't be any more readings today for newcomers, because the list is quite full, but you're very welcome to ask to be added to the list for next time, and you will be on priority next time. So yeah, so it's a lot about kind of that untapped potential. Sid, sorry, getting back to your reading here. It's a lot about that untapped potential, but it's like you're not seeing it, you're not fully seeing it, or you're not fully believing it. So you really do have to believe in what you can do and what you can achieve, and what you deserve, because this is even quite distant future, and it's like you're still not fully seeing it, you're still not fully believing in yourself, or understanding that you do have untapped potential. But you have good luck in the home and family. So this is like good luck in safety, security, home, your living situation, your living location, the family that you have around you, particularly blood family in this section. So very good luck and positive energy surrounding them, and protection. So it could be protection of the home, protection of you and your family as well. So that's quite positive as well. It's just a really positive omen for that section. But yeah, the belief that you have kind of does need to come through a little bit for yourself. And the oyster shell is kind of on the line as well. It's kind of overlapping a little bit to spirit and self. So it could be a little bit of spiritual work needed, like meditation or connecting with your guides or something, maybe even like Reiki cleanses, which you already do have done. So it could just be kind of saying, that's really positive, keep that up. And hopefully you can turn this around and really fully understand what you deserve and tap in to your hidden talents, hidden skills, hidden things, you know? So that's nice. Then we have the advice and guidance section. You have some clarity. You're going to get some clarity. So some advice or guidance that you're going to be given is going to make things clearer for you, going to shine a light on something. It's a positive omen. So you're going to get some nice positive advice. It's going to shine a nice bright light on some things that maybe you've been worried about or maybe you've been having issues with. So that's nice. But just listen to the advice and guidance. Be open to advice and guidance. Be accepting of advice and guidance, you know, because you're going to get some positive clarity and maybe a solution to a problem come through here from some advice and guidance. So that's nice. But we have the love. So if you can just about see it here at the end, can you see where I'm pointing? And we have the love stone. So advice and guidance as well. Maybe coming from that love. You might have advice and guidance on the love path about something, like if you have an issue on the love path, you might be getting positive advice and guidance on it in the future. This is more distant future, but could even be that your partner is the one who's going to give you good advice and support you and be that kind of rock for you in a way, you know? So the partner having very good advice, having very good guidance, being a positive support, verbally, you know, really helping, really giving advice, guidance, support, maybe bigging you up a little bit, you know, being proud of you. So that's really nice for the love kind of energy. But we'll look at the fox tooth and then we'll go into the section that has the most energy here, which is love and partnerships. So that's really nice, love and partnerships. So, but you do have the fox tooth, which I did forget to mention, in the current energy. So this is in your current section. So it could be now, or it could be you're just stepping into this chapter. Sometimes it's you're just stepping in, but it's the fox tooth. So it's about something like you're being put down, or something's not your fault. You're being blamed for something that's not your fault, or someone they might have the wrong impression, the wrong idea about you. They're feeling like you've done something that you haven't done wrong. They're maybe being they might just be being not really nice and great to you when you don't deserve it as well. Things like that, putting you down, ignoring you. But it can even be, like, in extreme cases, it can be stalking as well. And I know you have dealt with gang stalking in the past, so this is probably something that we just want to keep a check on. We're having protection of the family and home, so I feel like that's good in comparison to this, but could just be to watch out in this current chapter for those gang stalkers, just in case there's anything coming back in. But could be less serious than that. It could just be someone putting blame on you, someone, you know, thinking you've done something you haven't, just not being great. A little bit of bullying energy with the fox tooth sometimes. And although it's in the current section here, it does lean a little bit to career and business as well. So there could be something about that, maybe a miscommunication or a miscommunication regarding money or something. Maybe it regards money. It's in the very center section, so it doesn't necessarily matter on the section, because the sections do kind of begin here, but sometimes it does. So we just have to say maybe it's surrounding money in some way. Maybe just a thought. But let's have the antler energy. Let's read it. So this is all about things we need to have gentle conversations about. There's a lot of guidance about not getting angry, not getting upset, not shouting, not having conflict. Talking very gently. If someone does start to raise their voice or shout at you, maybe trying to bring that energy down a little bit, being in your own calming energies, being a mediator, things like that. So it's things you need to have gentle conversations about. And it heads out from the central section, current energies, you know, maybe it could just be, when it's in the very center, it could be general guidance that at the moment you just need to make sure you are being very gentle with other people and yourself. So it's having nice, gentle, kind, caring conversations, but it can be with yourself as well. It can be, you know, being kinder to yourself, saying nicer things to yourself, because as well, it does point to love and partnerships. So it can be about, you know, the loved ones, the close loved ones, not just romantic, but close friends, family, people you consider loved ones, you know, even if they're not blood related or they're not romantic partners. People you consider, you know, loved ones, basically. But having very gentle, calm conversations, but we're pointing to this one, which is more about our mental health, anxieties, and self-confidence. So if you're lacking in self-confidence, lacking in self-esteem, have any anxieties or any mental health problems, you are being guided to talk very gently and openly about them. It's not to keep them to yourself. You do need to discuss these things at the moment, and it will help. It will help with healing. It will help with becoming more confident, self-confident, confident, becoming more motivated, maybe healing any anxieties. Sometimes to release anxieties, we just need to calmly talk and discuss it with someone, And I'm not saying that anxiety can be released that easily, it can't always, but sometimes we can alleviate a little bit of the pressure by having a nice gentle conversation, saying what's on our mind, and just discussing it. Sometimes discussing the situation, and just getting it out there to someone, and them, again, giving us advice and guidance, because you're getting clarity anyway, and advice and guidance, it might help. It might help with mental health problems, confidence, and any anxieties, releasing of anxieties. But you're getting the health stone. So your health stone is in love and partnerships, but it's leaning a little bit to social and friendships. So this section here extends a little bit more to maybe acquaintance people who they're not necessarily loved ones, but you know them. There's a connection with them, and the health stone is in both. Or well, it's on the line, so it's more in love, but it can be a little bit of other people. So again, sometimes this is like, I know you do talk a little bit about going to the doctors, going to the pharmacies. That can be social. It's someone you're having a social conversation with, even if they're not necessarily friends or loved ones. So it can also be about that when we have health. So again, it's talking openly. The antler's not necessarily pointing at this stone, but it's interesting how the mental health and the physical health stones are very close. They're in the same kind of vicinity, the same section as each other. So there could be some link between the physical health and the mental health. And talking about both maybe might help as well. But love and partnerships. So being very open with the loved ones, the people you consider loved ones and close friends, about any health problems or mental health problems they might give. Again, you're getting the clarity on it. I keep going back to this, but the clarity on advice. When we talk openly and calmly with people, we do tend to get a bit more clear advice, and that's what we're getting here, clear advice. So I think that these ones have a lot to do with talking, discussing, and things like that. But even just love energy. So actually, me and Paul were talking about this on the Crystal Ball stream in Budapest, because we were saying how sometimes like cleansing or kind of healing can just be about love, having a hug with a loved one or a close friend releases endorphins, it releases positive energy. It's good for the soul, it's good for the mental health, so it can help as well on that journey. So love and partnerships can be very important to our healing and our growth. But then you have the abundance stone as well in love and partnerships. So having the abundance stone in love and partnerships, it can be about the loved one or meeting a loved one, or a loved one like a romantic relationship, or someone that's close, like I said, friends and family that you consider loved ones. There could be some abundance coming in some way there. It can just mean abundance of friendships. It can be like you meet new people, or you meet a new partner, or you meet new people, new friends, new soul family members maybe. So it can be, when the abundance still lands in a certain section, it does talk more about abundance of that thing. So it's more abundance of love than anything else, but there can still be a positive omen with money there. So maybe there's a loved one who introduces you to like a certain job or a side hustle or a little thing to make extra money, whatever it might be. It can sometimes still link to money because it is the abundant stone. So there can be a nice positive omen with money, maybe a loved one or a partner guiding you to a path that brings more money, but it can just be abundance of love and partnerships. So that's nice as well. But we have our pointing shell is pointing at the advice and guidance section. So again, we're being told, clarity on advice and guidance. It seems that a lot of your, someone else had a similar reading where a lot of your energy, a lot of your stones and shells and bones, they're all pointing to communication. So it might be a very social time for you. It might be a time for you to really open up to people, discuss things that have been on your mind for a while. It just seems like you are in a very communicative period. So opening up to people, having positive conversations, things like that. It's going to bring a lot of clarity and a lot of advice. So don't bottle things up, don't hide things, don't don't feel like, oh, I shouldn't talk about myself, or oh, I'll just, brush this under the rug and I'll just, I'll ignore it. Make sure you're having those conversations, telling people what's wrong, telling people what's on your mind, telling the doctors or anything like that as well, what's going on. Being very open, because that's where you're going to get the most guidance and positive advice. So pointing to advice and guidance, that's nice. And your focus stone, so this is focus and study. So generally it can be study, but we're on love and partnership, so we're not really going to see anything where we need to study as such for love and partnerships. But it could be more about growth and life lessons. So the life mission that you came here with, life lessons that you're having in a spiritual sense, like your soul's journey, your soul's growth. You're going to learn very important lessons in love and partnerships, which I think is very resonating for you, because your partnership is very unique. You have a unique partnership. Not everybody is in this that interdimensional relationship that you are in. So it makes sense that you have a lot of life lessons in love, because that's a very complex kind of love and kind of connection. So I think it's really positive, and it makes a lot of sense that you would have more life lessons rather than it being about study, So I do feel that. But it says to focus on your love and partnerships. And I think that with most of the stones landing in that section, that makes sense. Focus on your love and partnerships, but that can be loved ones, like I said, friends, family, people you consider loved ones, and maybe in the community, people you've really grown close to, and friends and family. So really focusing on that. So I hope you enjoyed your reading. I think it's pretty interesting how it came up with a lot of energy. Rain, hello and welcome. Rain, you are a heart chakra member, so I would just talk a little bit about this now. So we do have, so the list we do have at the moment, we have, let me read it out. So we've just done Sid. So we have Rising Phoenix, Lisa, Aries, Andrea, Sadia, Wolfie, Baby Doll, Toward the Terror, Nessie, and Rain. But what I've just said here, so I will be finishing up now because I have been 2 hours. But we're going to do, so there's a crystal ball tomorrow. It's early, so it's early GMT, so it'll be maybe around 10, 11, something like that. I do apologize if it's a bit later, like noon, but it's kind of planning on it being you're very welcome, Sid. I'm really glad you enjoyed it. So we are kind of leaning more towards the crystal ball tomorrow, starting somewhere between 10 a.m. and noon at GMT. And we have new love cards that we want to get into tomorrow, so I'm excited. So yeah, that's the crystal ball, so I hope you can make that. But I am jumping off now from this, but the people on the list that I just read out will be prioritized. But the next time we do bone reading after this, where it's going to be prioritizing heart chakra and Toward the Terror only. So they're the people that are going to be prioritized. There won't be readings for Roots or subscribers on that stream, just that one stream. I'm going to do Roots priority, so that because we have Damini, Jan, Sunlight, Rain, Rising Phoenix, Kevin, and Watch Geeks, who still have not had one, and Terra. So you guys are going to be prioritized next time for that. And then we'll go back to, we might do a root one as well. There's quite a lot of roots. So I'll begin with heart, then I'll do a root one, then we'll go back to subscribers. Bone reading and flower reading are going to be the main readings of Nessie. You will be prioritized for the subscribers one. So yeah, I do hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for joining, and maybe we'll see you at a different type of reading as well. So this coming month, bone reading, flower reading, which I have my casting mat for now, and crystal ball are going to all be prioritized. So you'll probably see that most of the streams will be crystal ball, bone reading, and flower reading. Let's just try and make sure now that everybody is getting one. But yeah, so I'm going to prioritize hearts next time. If there's not a lot of hearts that come in, maybe some roots will get one. But I'll prioritize hearts for the next one, roots for the one after, and then subscribers for the one after that. So yes, thank you all for joining me. I apologise if you didn't get a reading today, but you definitely will get one. I'll be doing them all throughout the month of October. So yeah, Love, light, and blessings to each of you. And I appreciate your patience so much. And I do promise you readings. Hope to really see you soon. Andrea says, I'll wait till tomorrow so you can get the members. Yeah, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate that. And you're very welcome, Sid, of course. So, yeah, it's my birthday tomorrow. So, we'll be doing a birthday crystal ball stream pretty early. Can't wait to see you guys as I'm turning 33. So, we'll celebrate my solar return together for a nice crystal ball tomorrow morning. So yeah, love, light, and blessings to each of you. You will get your bone reading throughout the month of October, I promise. I'm really cracking down on practicing it. So yeah, love, light, and blessings to each of you, and I really hope to see you tomorrow. Yeah, it's my last day as 32, my last day. So yeah, heading into 33, very nice. In 2 hours. So love, light, and blessings. And I hope to see you soon. I'm just going to do a little cleanse with the tincture quickly before I go, actually. I'm really loving them. Some mini tinctures that I got from Budapest. Ah, I can't do it. Lovely. So yes, love, light, and blessings to each of you. I really hope to see you soon. Goodbye.